are they above par? No pun intended. Or are they fit? What's the deal? Like, should we feature them? And we myself and then our editorial assistant Brittany, we work very closely, and people will pitch her as well, and we collate our what we think is best, and then we'll start doing these articles. What's fun about the angles is, like, since it's really for like hotel lovers, we have these fun hotel angles, such as we just did one that was the best hotels that used to be banks, or hotels that used to be estates.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Pay Me and Plane Tickets podcast, and I'm your host, Jelani. Today we talk with Brandon Berkson, who is the go-to individual in all things hotels. He founded the firm Hotels Above Par, which curates and highlights the most unique boutique hotels from all across the globe. Hotels Above Par has grown to become a prominent voice in the industry. Travelers and enthusiasts from all over the world seek Hotels Above Par to increase their travel experience. Today, we hear Brandon's story and thoughts on the future of Hotels Above Par and the hotel industry as a whole. Give us a bit of background. So, Brandon, before Hotels Above Par, where did you grow up? And sort of how'd you get to maybe now?
Yeah, so I had quite the unconventional career path. I grew up in San Diego, and I had always wanted to work in hotels. I loved hotels. I went to San Francisco, and I worked at a boutique hotel there, as a bellboy and a front desk associate. So that was really fun. So it really started from, humble beginnings, and that eventually forayed into working in travel and hotel PR in Paris and London, and most recently in New York. I was so I moved to New York in 2018.
Okay.
I was working I got a job at a hotel PR firm called Hue and Cry, and that was amazing. And I was working there for about 3 years, 2.5 years, and then the pandemic came on, and I got furloughed. And I had always loved hotels, like I said, and I always wanted to work with them. And so when I got furloughed, I wanted to give these hotel love during a time when they needed most, when they needed to be supported the most. I mean, you remember when, like, March, April 2020, when hotels
Yeah,
were just like completely
everything.
floundering, travel was complete chaos. And so yeah, and this was kind of my love letter to hotels, and I would write these captions and pair them with these cool photos I found. I also was like furloughed, so I had nothing to do other than like try to like, yeah, really, that was like I wanted a hobby during the pandemic and everything, and we couldn't see other people. So, that was the best fit. And so that's how Hotels Above Par was born. It was also born out of not just my love for hotels, but my love for boutique hotels. I
Yeah.
love places that connect you to the heart of a destination, places that aren't overly corporate, places that aren't overly commercialized. And I think I saw a absence in, like, the media market for boutique hotels and boutique style travel, because so many people
Yeah.
want to travel somewhere that gives them the ethos of where they're traveling, and a lot of them don't want to stay at somewhere that's like a very corporate place that doesn't really have any significance within the destination that these people are staying in. So anyway, so that happened. I eventually created a website and a newsletter, and today we have over 30 journalists who've written for us, which I'm so fortunate about. We have over 170,000 readers, and I actually went back to my PR job, and then after a couple months, I ended up doing this full time. So I've been doing Hotels Above Par full time now for about 2.5 years.
Congratulations on that. Easily.
Thanks. That was a mouthful. I
No, no,
apologize.
no, no, no. It's good. No, no, no. It was perfect. It led right into what I wanted to ask because what I noticed from your work and even in your work with Hotels Above Par, you do touch on boutique hotels or hotels that are very unique. It gives the traveler, it takes them out of that cookie cutter sort of box hotel that you kind of get room and a bathroom, and you get to these very uniquely designed, architected spaces that I think make the travel or the trip much more memorable.
Yeah, like we don't do mega resorts. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just like not our thing. Our audience really loves a boutique hotel. They don't want to see something that's 5,000 rooms in
Yeah,
Las Vegas. So
yeah, yeah. And then you also kind of shed a light on the designers of the hotels too, because
yeah,
there's so much effort into that aspect of it.
there's definitely a design centric aspect to it too. I hope this is the case because this is the goal, but we try to make it really aesthetically pleasing, and
Yeah.
a lot of that involves featuring design-centric hotels. And our audience are people who love, 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 live and breathe hotels, and so they like learning about the design as well.
Okay. And so this love for hotels, did it start at a young age?
Yeah, it started. I remember when I was younger, I would force my brother, who all he wanted to do was play with sports, and I would force him to play hotel with me. Um, and I was never good at sports, so we would always play sports, or excuse me, we would always
Play
play
hotel.
hotel together, play hotel together, and then eventually I had started traveling more and more, and I just always it felt so special just being in a hotel and you visit a new destination, someone checking you in, this hotel encompassing the ethos of that place. There's just really an escape from um your normal day to day. And so I think that really like infused my preferences on what I wanted to do career wise. And really, I can't remember a time when I didn't want to work in hotels.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And so, how do you play hotel? If you don't mind me
How do you
asking.
play with so I if I recall
Like
correctly,
check in,
I mean
check out.
this is like 2000, so it's been a long time. But yeah, I guess I would be like the reservation, the front desk person, and my brother would be the
Gotcha.
guest, or I'd be the bellboy, and I'd carry like our like little backpacks, and yeah, so
I wanted to get you on that one. That was good. Okay, so if I were to ask you, what makes a particular hotel memorable to you?
So there's a couple things. Many things, but I think if I were to pick a couple,
Yeah.
I would say when a hotel has service where they go above and beyond,
Mhm.
and they're you're at breakfast and there's a breakfast buffet and they're actually like, oh, here, like, do you need this, do you need this, or you like, this didn't actually happen, but this just give you an idea, like you sneeze and they're like, here's a tissue. So like just
Right
impeccable
there.
service, like was above and beyond. I completely recognize that. And two places where I've definitely seen that and viewed is like a lot of hotels in Mexico and a lot of hotels in Switzerland. So those two places I've like noticed the hospitality has been some of the best. People really go above and beyond there. In addition to that, I would say when a hotel is redolent of its destination and it speaks to the ethos of that place. So if you're staying in, for example, Palm Springs, and one of my favorite hotels there is the Sands Hotel and Spa, and the decor is it's an old motel that they turned into a hotel, and it is modeled after all the 1950s racket clubs and retro places in Palm Springs. So that the fact that the hotel did such a cool creative job of creating this capsule into the culture of where they are and connecting the guest to the heart of the destination through like the decor and that hotel's personality, that's something that really sticks out to me.
Okay, so it's
I,
basically the service of the hospitality and also the history of the hotel.
yeah,
That
I think just when the design and the personality of the hotel is a nod to
yeah.
that area's history. But I did want to point out I something that's kind of a little bit of my pet peeve is
Okay.
I hate, it's not really a pet peeve, it's probably not the right word, but I hate when a place
Okay.
is like it's a hotel in a really cool place and the place has a completely different personality than where it is. So like you going to a hotel and then being like, oh, it's called like the Tuscany Hotel, but it's in like Santa Barbara.
I
Like,
see. Yeah, it doesn't
so
fit.
I like if you're in Santa Barbara, like let's get some California heritage or Santa Barbara or something else that's not a whole different destination around the world because we came here for Santa Barbara.
I understand. And I agree with you on the I've been to a few places in Mexico where I remember the hotels were very much they kind of brought you into the culture of Mexican culture. But yeah, and it's funny because you mentioned boutique hotels being sort of the specialty for hotels above par.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes the big box ones they nail it.
What's unique too about the boutique hotels we feature is, we have the independent ones, right? But
Yeah,
we have then ones that are owned by larger conglomerates, but designed to feel boutique. For
yeah,
example, like Moxie, Thompson
yeah.
Hotels owned by Hyatt, Pendry, which is owned by Montage. So we won't discredit a hotel if it's owned by a larger conglomerate. It just has to feel boutique.
And how do you so no, I understand. So how do you feel about what when the big box ones are kind of delving into Moxies and what's it called? True, I think by Hilton, or there's another one where they're
Um,
trying to make these sort of quasi boutique-ish looking hotels or trying to still get that feel? Do you have like you're
I know I
trying?
like it. I'm into it. I like it. Yeah, I'm buying the product. So yeah, I'm here for it. I think like when places really go out of their way to make a hotel feel boutique and intimate, and I think that's really cool. So if they're doing that, 100%. I love Thompson Hotels. It's a great brand. So
Okay. So, how does a a a young boutique hotel get onto your radar? How do you actually sort of curate it?
So a couple things. I'm just like a nerd with this kind of stuff, and I like look at it all the time. I look at like Condé Nast Traveler and Suitcase and a Hotel Life and Monocle, and I find hotels from there. But in addition to that, we get a plethora of pitches from different PR professionals who represent different hotels. Lots of publicists who represent properties around New York City, really all over the world, and they'll pitch us with story angles and put these hotels on our radar, and we will decide, okay, are they on brand for hotels above par? Are they above par? No pun intended. Or are they fit? What's the deal? Like, should we feature them? And myself, and then our editorial assistant Brittany, we work very closely, and people will pitch her as well, and we collate our what we think is best, and then we'll start doing these articles. What's fun about the angles is like since it's really for like hotel lovers, we have these fun hotel angles, such as we just did one that was the best hotels that used to be banks or hotels that used to be estates. So what
Oh,
sometimes we send out a query to like all these like out to these 500 publicists who are at all these different agencies will say, hey, we're writing a story on these banks turned hotels. Let us know if you have a client, and then they'll send them in. So
okay, get you. All right. So
yeah,
okay, so you have basically a lot of ways of communicating from the hotels to hotels above par. I see how it's working.
exactly.
What if a hotel is designed beautifully, but then once it's on your radar or on your site, the service either goes down over time? Does it sort of fall off or maybe get reevaluated?
I would get reevaluated for sure.
I understand. As now, you personally, have you ever I know you can't visit everywhere and you can't visit every hotel that you ever post. Um, are there any particulars on your on that you sort of highlighted and you went to see and you were like, wow, this place is amazing?
Yeah, really so many. I'm so fortunate, because of my job to have gone to a lot of these places. And I one of my favorite hotels in the world is called Casa Angelina,
Okay.
and it's on the Amalfi Coast, and it's this whitewashed, modern, contemporary, beautiful monochromatic slice of paradise that's right atop a cliff that overlooks the Mediterranean. And it's different than all the other hotels in the area, which kind of take on a more traditional look, and those are beautiful too. But I'm very into contemporary architecture and like monochromatic kind of designs.
Fair, yeah.
So this one was so cool, and they go above and beyond. It's one of the hotels where you sneeze, they're like, here's a tissue. uh
Oh wow. Yeah, that now that's impeccable service.
one of
Yes.
the one of those. Yeah, the service is impeccable, and it's so chic, and I I love it. So that's probably my favorite.
So, when it comes to the new travel landscape where you have, a lot of younger folks are going to Airbnbs, and some of these Airbnbs are, quasi mansions and have they cater to a different client. But how do you feel the boutique hotel industry or sector competes with this new Airbnb sort of environment?
So I think that Airbnb has definitely taken a lot of people who would normally have stayed at hotels in the past to, come straight in rentals. But it's a matter of personal preference, and there's some really cool Airbnbs that while they might not be hotels, they have concierge service, and they feel like a hotel. It just might not be that there's like 5 to 10 rooms, but it might just be that it's a house and it's not a hotel, but they have the hotel services and people can attend to them and all that. So I would definitely say that ho- I would say that yeah, I would say that they really are competing really hard right now, and it's just a matter of personal preference on do you want to stay like with no one in the building, or do you want to stay like at a hotel where like you'll have a go 24/7 concierge and all of that. So I think it just depends on someone's vibe. I think because of COVID, a lot of people have a lot of people obviously started going to Airbnbs and not going back to hotels. And I do think that that's receding a bit than compared to like last year. I think that more people are now staying at hotels after this whole era of it was like people were just staying in Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say things are changing.
No, I agree with you. I think I agree with you to that level because I think the sentiment around hotels during the pandemic sort of scared everybody and it scared everybody
Mhm.
away. But now that we are back to some level of normalcy, uh, the interest has sort of repeaked. If that
And
aligns with you.
a huge trend now is people are going all out on these vacations because they didn't travel for the past 2.5 years, three
Yeah,
years. People
friend
and
travel
a
is real.
lot, yeah, for sure. And so many people are traveling in comparison to people are wanting to go on that big trip. They want to go to that destination they've been dying to go to because we've been deprived of travel for since April 2020 and March 2020.
Uh, in your future, are you looking to build your own boutique hotel? Is that
Um,
on the books?
I think that'd be a lot of work, but I would love to do that. Absolutely. Right now with my job, I with how it does require I like wear 90 different hats, so I don't have the bandwidth right now, and I definitely would have to find a lot of investors. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, and I think what I do see happening is, us expanding our content. So, we don't just do hotel roundups and hotel reviews. We do destination guides, and we do restaurant and bar articles, and we do
yeah,
style and design and culture. And but we do promise that all around everything feels boutique. So from the restaurant to the attractions to the hotel, everything feels unique to its core and not like it's a replica of some corporate standard.
I see. It's not on the books yet, but maybe.
The
Maybe
boutique
when.
hotel.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You're being
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
boutique
I think I
hotel
just,
idea.
over these next couple of years, definitely just expanding the content.
Right. And you speaking of your content, so you did mention, I have it here. You did mention you do touch on bars and restaurants. In your opinion, what makes a great restaurant? Because sometimes you may have a hotel that sort of houses a restaurant. So in your expertise, what makes a great restaurant if it's in hotel?
Yeah, I think that like service, obviously, the food has to taste really good. Plate presentation, the design. I'm a big design freak, so I love like, oh, this is crown molding, and like this is like I love these wicker chairs and that kind of thing. And I again, when a restaurant plays or excuse me pays homage to
I
its
see.
destination and the personality of the city that hosts it, that really earns points with me for sure.
Understand that. You know, I've seen a few. I've been to a few hotels where the restaurant definitely stood out. But it depends on, I think, the traveler because you can have a time you want to spend most of your time at the hotel, but you also want to go outside and go kind of off market and off brand and taste the food out there. So sometimes you miss it, even if it's in the hotel. You're like, I didn't even think about stopping there.
Totally. And I think that something that's different from hotels than like hotel restaurants is I whether it's Italian or it's Vietnamese cuisine or whatever, I don't find that as much of a pet peeve because like, I like trying different foods from around the world as like, with a hotel where it's trying to be a replica of like somewhere else that's like halfway around the world. But with a restaurant, I think it's totally fine if it, it's Italian food, but we're in Santa Barbara, you know.
Okay, okay. Let's get a little bit more into you, Brandon. So, uh, have you ever solo traveled?
I have, yes, many times.
Okay, what was your first solo travel?
So my first solo travel was I went to Bath in London, and that was really
Oh,
fun. I was like 19, and so I was like, oh my God, I can drink here, like yay. And but in addition to that, I've always loved Europe, and I always wanted to travel through it more. Bath was super cool, and I think what's great about traveling by yourself is you really learn so much about yourself
yeah.
and what your preferences are and what kind of traveler you are. And so in addition to that, I tried solo travel in Mexico. I was there in 2021. So when I went back to my PR job for a couple months, I ended up leaving in April 2021 to do HAP full time. And I just did this like eat, pray, love in Mexico. And I went for a month and I just worked from down there. And I would go from Mexico City and I went to Oaxaca and I went to San Miguel de Allende and I went to Puebla. And so that was really great because I was alone my whole time, and I was able to like go on the travel schedule I wanted to do or I wanted to be on. I was able to go to places that I didn't have to compromise with someone else on. I could like go on my do my priorities, and yeah, so I really like solo traveling. It's really fun.
And I'm glad you recommend it. No, it's important. I mean, sometimes, most times when you solo travel, you discover more about yourself, because it's just you. There's nothing else to care about.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, you're on no one else's schedule but your own.
And
So.
so your first was Bath. Was Bath also your favorite solo travel, or do you have a different destination that may have been?
No, so I solo traveled about this solo traveled Italy, France, and then I would say that Mexico was my favorite. There's something just so beautiful about Mexico, the culture, the landscapes, the Spanish colonial style towns, the architecture from the
Yeah.
contemporary to the colonial. And so I Mexico just makes me so happy. And I think doing that whole Mexico trip after in what was it, April 2021 really,
Okay.
really put me in
Oh,
raptures
it's recent.
about solo traveling to our southern neighbor. So
Yeah. And that's quite recent. April 2021 wasn't too long ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It got you, and I know you're a city slicker, so it got you out of New York City, which is good.
Yeah, yeah, I was like, I need to get out. I need to get out and eat tacos. Uh,
Okay. Is your family, are they big travelers?
So yes, my it's interesting. So when we were growing up, we would travel, but we wouldn't travel in comparison to a lot of my travel journalist friends who were like, yeah, my parents took us to the North Pole at like 13. And then we were like went on safari at 14. I was like, no, we didn't do that. We like we
Right.
yeah, we traveled, but like not to like that extent or to places, like that.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But so I started traveling when I was about 18, 19. I started really, really getting the bug because I loved hotels and I want to see these hotels around the world. I also, a passion of mine outside of hotels is I love learning languages. So I did some solo traveling in Italy and in France, and I found that to be that I think what really galvanized it though was going to Bath and just being by myself on my own schedule and realizing like I can do this like wherever I want around the world. Like we have I'm in a position where I want to make this my career and I want to work in travel and hotels and I'm going to do that. And that's really what spawned my travel bug. I also something that I loved about France and Italy was because I speak French and I speak Italian. I get so much joy when I'm able to speak those languages. So when I was there, I that really galvanized me to be like, okay, I'm going to learn more and more, and then I'm going to come back and more and more, and I'm going to come back.
Interesting. And so when you're picking a place to travel to, are you leaning first with there's a hotel you want to try or see or experience first, or is it no, there's a certain location and I want to learn more about this culture? Is that how you pick a destination for yourself?
I think it's really both. If there's a stunning hotel in a city that I have no interest in visiting, I still like would probably go to that stunning hotel. If it's a cool destination and the hotel isn't as cool, I'll probably cover the destination but not the hotel. But I would say that I mean it I would say yeah, it's 50. It really just has it's a
It
case by case
depends
basis.
on. Got
Yeah.
you. It's a
Yeah.
case by case scenario.
Exactly. But yeah, and if I stay at a hotel and I don't like it and I don't think it's on our standards, I won't feature it. I think because I want to keep that integrity with our readers.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, yeah, it's a case by case scenario, and you could end up with either or it being a great destination led first or the hotels led first.
Exactly.
Interesting. Do you have any future travel plans?
Yeah. So I just got back from Italy like last week,
Oh,
and that
nice,
was really
nice.
nice. I
How
came
was
back like
that?
7 pounds heavier. I like had the
You're
calories don't
supposed to.
count.
You're supposed to.
Calories calories don't count when you're in another country.
No.
Um, and so yeah, I ate lots of tiramisu, and that was super fun. I was covering a couple of hotels, and then there's this really cool villa rental service called the Thinking Traveler, and they have like these old like mansions in Sicily in southern Italy, excuse me, Sicily and Puglia in Corsica, and then in Greece, and it was really fun writing a story on them because I normally a lot of the time cover hotels and we'll have some of our other journalists cover Airbnbs and rentals. But this was like really one of the first times I actually like did a full on review on like a villa rental. So that was fun. But yeah, this summer I'm going to be going to Estonia, which will be really fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. I've heard a lot of good things, and it's definitely an emerging destination. Um, I'm going to Milan. I'm absolutely
Oh,
obsessed with Milan, and I keep on going back to Italy. Like I
yeah,
honestly think
yeah. I'm hearing a lot of Italy.
if someone doesn't like Italy, like they're the problem. Italy is never the problem.
It's
But
beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Yeah.
it's stunning. I'm going to Mykonos, and I'm going to be going to Maine, so it'll be
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Very
Right
yeah,
on.
I'm all over.
Yeah, like Maine's just like, yeah, it's just dangling. It's like, yeah, I'm going
It's like yeah, it's like Maine, it's the Italy of the Northeast. No, I'm kidding.
there. Wonderful. I love hearing just individuals keep moving and traveling outside the country because you get to experience different things and different ideologies and thoughts and you grow new ideas on how to handle different situations. So travel to me is very important. I love hearing people such as yourself keep going out and travel, encouraging others to travel with hotels above par. Um, in your opinion, where do you see the hospitality industry going? Is it going in the route of more boutiques? Or is it maybe getting consolidated and more big box are going to be acquiring these boutique hotels? Or what are your thoughts?
No, I think that boutique hotels, from the capacity of independent to, being like a Moxie or a design hotels, which is technically under Marriott
Yeah,
Bonvoy.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that people want that. I think people really want to connect to the destination that they're visiting and that they're staying in, and I think boutique hotels provide that. I also see, and I'm not a fan of this trend, but I see things becoming a lot more digital. So you'll go to a hotel and there won't be someone to check you in. It'll just be an iPad.
yeah,
And I think that what's so beautiful about like the hospitality industry is like the person to person connection. And when you go to a hotel and you check in, this is really one of your first encounters with that destination is that check-in process. And I think that just replacing a person with like an iPad in this whole day and age of AI too,
yeah.
kind of it's a trend that I see coming more and more, and I'm not a fan of it.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it is becoming more digital. I mean, you can go to Tokyo and they had the robots check you in.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and
So
you're seeing less concierge too. I know I relied heavily on concierge where they give you sort of tips and tricks and little thoughts that may change your whole trip and I mean for the better. That you're starting to see less and less in some hotel boxes.
I think I might be old fashioned. I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna use AI, but like I'm sure I will.
Well, yeah, I think the only thing great is the hotel room key. That's I like that it's on your phone sometimes.
100%, a
Yeah.
hundred.
Okay. So I want to off with a few just quirky questions that are patented pay me in plane tickets audience loves.
All right,
Uh
shoot, I'm
let's
here
go
for
for it.
it.
So, what's your favorite airline?
Delta,
Everybody loves
because
Delta. Everybody loves Delta.
everyone loves Delta. Yeah, I love, love, love Delta. It's always on time. The Wi-Fi always works, and that's such a big thing for me because I work so much. And when I get on planes, I'm my most productive self, but I can't be my most productive self if the Wi-Fi doesn't work. So that's one of the reasons I love Delta. And then another one with Wi-Fi that always works is JetBlue. So
Oh, okay. It's
yeah.
it's rare I catch JetBlue, but it's Delta's big around New York City, so I understand. And Atlanta. Have like a go-to credit card or debit card that you get points or cash back or whatever it is, whatever it might
No,
be.
not really. I need to delve into that more. I should I
Uh,
should start reading the points guide more. Um,
right, right. It's a wild game. It's a wild game. I played it for a minute and I was like, all right, it's too confusing. I just choose the cash back now.
I know I need to be like more adherent to it and like really like delve into it because it's obviously such a beneficial thing. So.
Yeah. Now, what's your traveling pet peeve?
Other than that one qualm I have
Yeah,
with hotels that
exactly. That's what you mentioned.
that I let them someplace around the world that's not that destination. With my travel pet peeve is, hmm, I would say when people when people have no like when you're on an airplane and someone keeps on just like they just keep on moving and it like moves the whole row.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm a light sleeper, so
Oh, I see. So
yeah.
are you? So
when
you're
someone when
normally in the
someone like
aisle.
it goes like that, and it's normally like a little kid.
Oh,
Um,
I see. I got
yeah,
you saying.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So when they just like kind of shake up the road, but I don't think there's definitely probably another one.
Let us have it. Let us hear it.
Um, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Um,
No.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
Okay. Go, go.
Exact one. This like, is more than the other one. Is
Okay.
when you're in a place in the taxis, and like this will happen in like a lot of places when even though they take card, they'll only make you pay them cash. So
Uh,
you have to go to the ATM. So I lived in Paris for some years, and when I was there was always this thing where you even though the law was you had to, take credit cards, like a lot of people would just want to do cash. And so I'd get an Uber and then or a taxi and they'd be like, oh no, only cash, only cash. And so that's definitely something that's a pet peeve of mine, which is kind of niche. It only applies to like certain places, but I really just like paying with card. It's just so much easier with when you're
yeah.
taking a taxi and stuff. So
I think you've encroached on my travel pet peeve is I hate paying with cash.
yeah,
I'm not a fan of
me too.
cash. I don't like holding. My reasoning is if I have the cash on me, I'm gonna want to spend it because I don't want it, and it it takes me, it's hell for me to put it back in my bank account. So I'm like, I don't like dealing
Totally.
with it. If I can pay with
I'm with
card,
you.
yeah. So my idea is I always, if I'm going to a location that is pretty much cash heavy, like Thailand or something, um, I take out as much as I need, and then I I let that I like kind of like allocate it throughout my duration as much as I can. But no, I'm a card guy.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I knew great minds think alike.
Yeah, there it is. We're on the same page. Okay, now we asked this question, but I feel like it's probably already answered by itself. So we asked Airbnb or hotel, and I think you're going to choose hotel.
Yeah, hotel, what 10 out of 10 times. Normally when we cover Airbnbs, like I said before, was it's with it, I don't cover them just because I love hotels so much. So we'll have like one of our journalists cover them or someone from our team. But with hotels, that face-to-face interaction, I love when a hotel has like fun nods to the destination. I love turn down service and cool turn down service, like when they leave like really like
Right.
obscure chocolates from like the chocolate
Yeah, yeah.
or down the street. Or when places have a really fun welcome amenity, or like when the soap is like, this really beautiful, amazing niche brand that you can only get in like Lake Como. So I love all of those fun touches to hotels, and I love being
Yeah.
able to really check have that human to human interaction. So I would say hotels. Nothing wrong with Airbnbs, just because of the thing.
No, no, no. I agree with you. There are a lot of benefits to being at a hotel. I mean, heck, like you mentioned the toiletries or the soap and stuff like that. I mean, Aesop started. I mean, that's how they kind of became popular. They were in a bunch of hotels, and everybody kind of now wanted it. And that's kind of
And
what
it's
it
so
is.
fun. It's so fun when they get creative with it too.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I was in Israel and they had ahava mud mask as one of the things in the
that's
bathroom at one of the toiletries. And I just like I've never seen a mud mask, but that's so cool.
oh no, never. Yeah, that's very unique.
So yeah, it was super unique. And yeah, hotels 10 out of 10 times.
Hotel points. Yeah. I knew when that question was coming up, I was like, yeah, he's gonna say hotel. Yeah. Like that's the one answer I can guarantee on. Are you an aisle, window, or dare I say middle seat guy?
Window, window, window.
Window, window. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is
Yeah.
there any
So
particular reason you do you like seeing the view?
yeah, I like seeing the view, and I am really good at like sleeping like that with my head. It's- that's even though I'm a light sleeper, that's like definitely how I prefer to nap on a plane. So do you have a favorite hotel?
Yes, I do have a favorite hotel. My favorite one that I've been to was in Cabo, the JW Marriott in Cabo. It was designed by Olson Cudden, and the entrance is very grand. The service was amazing. Ironically, it's a Marriott, but it's very beautiful. If you ever get the chance to see it or look at it, um, it's probably one of my favorite design hotels.
I'll have to
Uh,
check.
yeah, check it out. It's in San Jose, not San Lucas. So
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, that's probably the one I could think of come to mind. I was just recently in southern Thailand, and we were at another Marriott that was JW that was really nice. But we did pass an autograph. I really wish we would have stayed there.
Yeah, autograph feels boutique. We would have totally covered an
Yeah,
autograph. Yeah.
yeah. Autograph would have been boutique as well. But yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Awesome. That's good to know.
And there's one budding one that I did stay in Mexico City that I think one day may come up in your radar. It's called the Villas Lunaya in
Okay, I
Puerto
haven't heard of
Escondido.
it.
Yeah,
Import.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. In Puerto Escondido, yeah. It's sleepy surf town, and
Yeah,
it's
in
probably one of the
Oaxaca.
yeah. It's what I think it's what 6 hours from Oaxaca, might be something like that.
Yeah, I think it's in that state.
Yeah, yes.
The Puerto Escondido, like I have a feeling that's the next Tulum.
It's about
Um,
to be. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah. It's
I
getting
hope it
popular.
doesn't get I hope it doesn't lose its character because it's a really cool place. It's such
Yeah,
an awesome spot. And there's this one hotel there called Casona Sforza. Stunning. It's one with like these vaulted arches. You've probably seen it.
I may have
Uh,
seen it. Yeah.
yeah. So it's
Um.
one I would love to go to. I haven't been yet, but I would love to
Yes. No,
go
but
to.
you're right. Puerto Escondido is it's becoming very, very popular. When I was there, the the beaches were free, but now I was told recently that you got to pay like $1 or two now to get to the beach because there's just so many people now flooding it.
Uh,
Like, I was like, yeah, it's getting popular. Um, are you a carry on or check bag?
Carry
Uh,
on for sure.
yeah, okay,
10.
yeah, quick, fast, and a hurry.
Yeah. If I can stuff this on and carry on 100%, I am team carry.
Do you prefer nonstops or layovers?
Non-stops.
Okay. No, some folks, it's we do get a few folks who are like, no, they like a layover, to get a little break, spread the legs, kind of go.
Yeah, I think like maybe if it's more than 8 or 9 hours, probably I guess I like to
Yeah.
stop. But if it's around under 8 hours, I'm fine with doing a non-stop. So
Okay. So if you had to travel to one location for the rest of your life, where would it be?
okay, so can I give two answers for this one?
Sure, you can just do it.
Okay. One is San Miguel de Allende in Mexico. I find it such an enchanting place. All that Spanish colonial style architecture, so many cool artists, so many cool boutiques that stock, these different wares of Mexican designers. Uh, the the boutique hotel scene is incredible. I think one of the best in North America, in Latin America as well. I really think that the boutique hotel scene there is phenomenal. And then I would say Italy because
Italy's
Italy
your
is
spot.
an amazing place. Yeah, I could eat buffalo mozzarella like every day of my life. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, and I find it fun speaking Italian. So I think I would probably say Italy or San Miguel.
Okay. I'm still practicing my Italian, so I think I need more conversational improvements.
I learned it back in school. So like language is my thing, but like science and math, I'm horrible at. But I've always been good with languages, which is lucky.
Okay. Is there anywhere in Italy or is it the country itself you're fine with most?
Milan. I loved
Milan.
all of Italy, but I would probably move to Milan. I love Milan. So
Okay. Yeah. One day.
which is an unconventional one because most people are like, oh, Milan's like one of the ugly cities in Italy, but I
Yeah.
think it's so far from the truth. I
Yeah.
think it's one of Europe's coolest metropolises.
Yeah. You do. Well, I haven't heard it's been the ugliest. I hear people say, they'd rather go. I mean, most venture to the
Rome.
Venice. Yeah. Yeah. They most venture to Venice and they're like, Milan's all right. Or they may venture to Rome. But yeah, Milan is, it's up there.
Yeah, it's interesting. People don't like pick it as their first choice, but I think it's totally warranted to be a first choice.
Or you go to Florence, go down south.
Florence is
And also you're next to Lake Como. So,
stunning. Yeah, so beautiful.
Brandon, this was wonderful. It was wonderful having you on. This is like a lifetime achievement for me getting the hotels above par. I do utilize your site. I do utilize it when I'm sort of picking out my travels and trying to see something that's unique and I guess also adheres to like slow living to some degree or slow travel to some degree. It's great having you on and hearing your backstory, kind of how Hotels Above Par got started, the curation of it all, and your future.
Thank you so much, and really, I really appreciate you asking me to be on your podcast. I'm really excited to hear about it, and thank you again for being such a supporter of Hotels Above Par. I can't thank you enough.
No problem, no problem.